Ha ha! That's because I was muted. Anyway, I said just a second ago, how we doing, Johnny? Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope you're good, man. Oh, man. Today... Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize. Gunslung. Hello. What's up, Gunslung? Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. So we got director's commentary on the docket for today. Going to be talking about the newest video. The importance of sound design. That's one. Johnny says I'm good. Finally less work. Hey, that's a good thing. I haven't had any work in the last couple of weeks. Which, it's been nice. I'm gonna have to start working again shortly, but not for another week or so. But yeah, no, today's director's commentary, talking about the new video, whatever it's called, the importance of sound design. I really like this video. It's underperformed in my humble opinion, but also it's early, right? It's early. It's still gotta get pushed out a little bit. Although I think the people are getting used to the whole pocket notebook situation and kind of, you know how that goes. But I've said, people just gotta watch what I give them. Dad says, "Woo, yeah." I guess they won. That's crazy. Of course, I left whenever it seemed like it was over, and then, well, you know how that goes. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the schmanalytics here. All right. So this is the video that we're gonna watch today. I'm really happy with this one. And one of my favorite things is this is a video I've had the idea for basically ever. Not ever, but it's been a long time. I've had this idea where I wanted to make an entire video where I did not use any music tracks. I just used sound and sound design. And so that was sort of the dream of this video and what I wanted to do with it. And it was kind of tricky to get the story for this one, but it all kind of came together in such a way to where I could finally, make it instead of just have the idea. And I referenced that concept a few videos ago where I was talking about just because you have the idea doesn't mean, or just because you don't want to use the idea now, or just because you can't use the idea now doesn't mean you won't ever have to. But really sick. I really like this video, and a lot of people had some good feedback on it. The ones that did watch it enjoyed it, so I'm glad those that saw it enjoyed it. All right, so we're gonna just get right into this. We're getting straight into it. I can already tell my hat's tripping up the old, what's it called, the camera. So we're just gonna. It'll be all right. Whatever. All right, let's check it out. Also, my stream thing is acting a fool here. Don't know why. Oh well. Anyway. Let's check it out. Oh, I'm gonna get myself switched over here. Director's chair. Here we go. This is the timeline for this video. Really cool looking because it's all sound effects and audio tracks instead of there's at the very bottom there's no music. This is just one that I had to put down here. But it's such a fun. It's like a puzzle, right? It's like a big puzzle. The editing timelines are so cool looking. So this is gonna be falling way behind because of the server, so I'll check back in later. All right, no biggie. Can't blame you there. It's hard to watch from behind because it's just nothing makes any sense. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be a fun timeline to go through because I just could dissect it all, and this was a fun challenge, I think, of an edit. I had a good time with the challenge of this one. Also, that's driving me nuts. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna fix the camera. I'm gonna fix the webcam because it's freaking annoying. Hold on, let me pull it up on my end here. Okay. Ow. Okay, we're just gonna. I think this. It's so annoying. Hey. Yeah. Okay. That was a quick ad, man. Okay. All right, now we're back in the saddle here. Okay. Let's get started on this, man. Let's get started on this. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on here, so we're gonna dissect it and dive through it here in a second. So. So the other day, my dad and I were watching the Oscars on TV because there was nothing else on.
That partial standing ovation. And welcome to the 96th Oscars, everybody. Look at these beautiful human actors.
And one of the first awards they announced as we were flipping a channel was Best Sound. And out of this coincidence, I turned to my dad and described to him an idea I had many months ago. I said to him, so this is an interesting one. So first of all, one of the most annoying things ever is how loud my PC is whenever, yeah, it's loud, okay? It's not as loud as my old laptop, but it's still definitely loud. So it's really annoying when I'm recording audio in the studio because it's just in the background. And unless I want to just turn it off, I got to deal with it. But I've been, like, the video I'm shooting now is, I just completely lost my train of thought. The video I'm getting ready to shoot, or I'm in the process of shooting, is I did a lot of the dialogue with the computer turned off because it just is so much better audio quality because you don't have that little stuff going on in the background and you don't have to, like, it's kind of a pain. So yeah, I had many months ago. So that being said, I had this clip here, this particular video clip that I have highlighted. It had its own audio, but I didn't like how you could hear the PC really bad, so I just manufactured the page turn, and then I also added some from later in that clip where there wasn't a bunch of noise. And also I think I was talking during this particular shot as well, so I needed to fix that up a little bit. Because this was exactly what I was referencing, because if you notice, this shot, I had this idea, vlog with no music, so you see that big old music note with the circle drawn through it. That's what this shot was for. I said to him that it's also recycled from an old video, but hey, we will. I had this idea to make a YouTube video wherein I only use sounds and sound effects. No music. Oh, dude. Oh, I forgot about that. That was just the other day, too. So I did a whole stop motion animation. So last video, the video before this one where I did, I was going through my pocket notebook philosophy. I was digging through my old pocket notebooks. One of the ideas I had written down a long time ago was to get a piece of green poster board and use it with my big art clipboard as a green screen, as a makeshift green screen. And so what I've done is I made the green screen, right? I have it right here on a big clipboard. And so how I can use it is it's portable, sort of. So I can use it underneath the overhead rig. And actually it works out really nicely because the way I built my overhead rig, it's actually wide enough now to be on either side of that clipboard long ways. So when I set this shot up, here, let's take a look at this here. You see this X right here? It's big red, right? I could take this and I could kill the green screen. So you see how this is an overhead shot of, I had little paper cutouts. And so I did it frame by frame. I just added them in, right? And of course I had to edit the image a little bit and fiddle with it a hair, but yeah, no. What the heck? Green screen. Oh, I did it twice, didn't I? That's weird. Oh, I copied and pasted twice. That's why it looks kind of weird. Yo, that makes a lot of sense. I was wondering why it was. Oh, yeah. Because I was wondering why these were all a different red than this last one. But I just now realized I copied and pasted all that twice. But anyway, it's way too late now. Lyndon says, what did I join to? These sounds. What the? I don't even know what you're talking about. Unless which sounds are you talking about? Oh, I'm on full screen. My bad, gang. My bad. Here we go. So yeah, I totally just, my bad. Yo, I gotta say something quicker. I also need to pay better attention. But anyway, we're looking at this here. Sorry about that. That whole thing I was just talking about. This is what we're looking at. This is the giant X that was drawn on the screen for the new video. And so what I did, oh my god, I'm sorry guys. I screwed that up big time. So I keyed this out. So the overhead shot is on that green screen I just mentioned. Lyndon, since you weren't here, this is my homemade green screen. It's a giant clipboard and a piece of green poster board. It's good for the overhead rig, and this is the first time I've been able to use it. It's the first time I've been able to use it. So basically, it fits perfectly underneath my overhead rig, so I can just shoot straight down, and the whole frame is green, which makes it really nice to do green screen and because the lighting's all even and everything. So anyway, so this is I just keyed all this out. So I did on top of that green screen, I just did paper cutouts to stop motion animate this. So this is, as you can see, this is all just pops in frame by frame. Boom, 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 boom. And all these little red little lines are just paper cutouts. So I took a piece of paper and I drew this big X on it and I just cut it out. And then I had this big X, so I just cut it out into little snips. And then did it frame by frame and then keyed out the green screen and there you go. It's like a little on-screen animation, but it's paper. And it's, yeah. I don't have to learn a new software. Oh yeah, my bad guys on the whole slipping of the thing. I'm bad at OBS.
Music, only sound. My challenge in making this particular video.
Yeah, so I don't know if you could tell, which I don't know. Behind the X is the music section of Epidemic Sound. And then I clicked over here and this is the sound effects section.
Sound.
So that's what we're working with.
My challenge in making this particular video would be that I need to drive home a narrative and maintain pacing without the assistance of a music track.
Also, this actually was a music track, but I had to change the name. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of an Easter egg. But right there where the name is, it says a music track. Because I said without the assistance of a music track. And so it was some random track I just got from my hard drive. I was just like, screw it. I got to change the name and then make it look funny. So that's that.
The idea in doing this would be to, hopefully, improve my skills in storytelling through sound. Through using what comes naturally to deliver
this entire video, I had to go through all the audio and just like up the audio for most of the thing. Because if it's not, I mean, obviously within reason, but if it's not like right there next to the microphone, it's so hard. It just does not make any good sounds. So I had to up all the, and also when it plays on YouTube, it's harder because if you don't have like really good speakers or really good headphones or whatever, which you have to assume that nobody does, then I had to like up the audio a lot, and it's kind of a pain.
Instead of relying so heavily on music.
But also I think that was part of the challenge too, is trying to figure out audio levels and everything.
So here I am now, a couple of days later, writing this video. The one you're watching right now.
Lots of nature
doing
shots
this,
in this one too. Lots of cinematic B-roll.
Is the fact that there might be difficulty in making this happen, but at the same time, I am thrilled by the potential challenge.
Oh shoot.
I am thrilled by the potential challenge of it.
And that's just facts. The challenge was thrilling. I had a good time. I had a good time making this. Definitely had a good time.
Of making a video only using sound. Only sound.
And then I also had to, because there was some natural bird sounds like in the real recording, but then I had to go through and add some of my own, as you can see here, because they just weren't obviously I can't just have the birds chirp on cue, so I had to add in some of my own there. And then there's also there's a couple of different bird sound effects that I use. I had this longer version, and then there's this shorter one that you'll actually hear multiple times throughout this video. I think I used it 3 or 4 times. But I wanted to space it out. Quite a bit, just so, you know, I didn't frickin' overdo it. Anything like that.
Trouble in doing this, I think, is the fact that there might be difficulty in making this happen. But at the same time, I am thrilled by the potential challenge of it. Of making a video only using sound. Only sound.
And see, even this, I had to hike the audio up way high because it's just not loud enough. The bird sounds are just not loud enough. I had all the sound effects from this video came from Epidemic Sound. With exception for like 1 or 2, and we'll get to that later, I had to make a pen sound effect on my own, like I was writing with a pen. Because they didn't have the right one I wanted.
And no music. So the day after having watched the Oscars...
The thing I had to do a lot in this video as well was fade out. Because I had to have the audio so high on some of these sound effects because they were so quiet, I had to fade it out over a long stretch. That way it wouldn't be such an abrupt cut and it wouldn't pop or anything.
I had this sort of compulsion. I wanted to watch a movie, and not just any movie. This movie. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I've been a big...
Tell you what, man, this whole thing really was just like, when you come up with a story like this, it was really fun how it all kind of worked out. Because, like, I had no idea. Well, and I want you to, if you haven't seen the video, you need to watch it. But the ending, when I talked about how this movie was nominated for, or it won the Oscar for Best Sound, I actually did not know, or sound effects editing, but I actually did not know that fact until after I was like halfway through the movie, and my dad told me that, and I was like, no way, no freaking way, that's the coolest thing. And I was like, this is so perfect, because the literal next video I wanted to make was about sound, and it all lined up to where like the Oscars were like 2 days before. Everything just happened to work out so perfectly, so that was a fun coincidence.
Indiana Jones
Oh my gosh.
fan since I was a small kid. So I always loved going back and rewatching the old movies.
It was kind of tricky too, because I wanted to make sure I didn't get a bunch of this music in there for a number of reasons. I didn't want a bunch of music because I didn't want to get copyright, and then I also didn't want to have music in the video at all, so I had to have enough just to get the point across. But
Because just the day before,
and also I had to add this little button press sound effect because I wanted to, obviously you can see it, but I wanted to have an audible cue as well. And I mean, sound design, it's all about, the sounds. You gotta have the sound.
just the day before I had watched people win the Oscars for sound, I, of course, paid extra close attention to the sound in this movie. The music in these movies.
It's crazy. I liked it. I liked that timing of all that. It's paying extra close attention to the sound.
In this movie.
Like that all just kind of came in on cue. I felt. I think that worked out pretty cool.
The music in these movies, of course, is legendary.
And this is something I started doing quite a while ago, actually. You'll see here in a second. Every time I have a little computer clip pop up where I'm like looking online for something, I have the little mouse click. That way it kind of sounds, you have that cue that something's coming up, but also it's relevant to what is coming up. So like go to this website here. I just, Googled it, and it's a click. It's like a mouse click. Like real life, you'd be searching it, you'd click with your mouse kind of thing. So that's just one of those little bitty elements that can easily be taken for granted.
Williams never fails to captivate an audience with his score.
I also had to add a mouse scrolling sound effect
With his score.
So I just felt like it was too quiet through this section.
But what about the sound?
And that bird again. That was that specific bird. I use that same bird over.
Probably don't even recognize or pay attention to the sound design. There's this tremendous irony that the part of the movie, or the part of any given movie, that a casual movie watcher pays the least attention to is also the one that...
Okay, I'm going to go back to that. That was a shot. I used it earlier, I think. I don't know. Either way, this shot right here was one I had, like, before every now and again, I have, like... I will have a shot in mind that I really, really want to get, and this was that one, because you could see in my eyes not exactly specifically what I was watching, but you could see like the flashes and the light reflecting off my skin, and like here there was an explosion, you can kind of see that in my eyes, and then everything turns orange. Like that's really cool, I think.
Is also the one that the editor...
I think that was in the movie, the boat exploded. The ship they were on.
Is also the one that the editor must...
Also, I love recording dialogue out in the woods, except this time it was a little windy, but not bad. There was like one or two clips where it was a little windy, but generally it was pretty good.
Must pay the most attention to. Sound.
Oh, yeah. Dust spray paint. And you know what's funny too? I always take for granted how loud the music at Walmart is until I'm trying to record audio, and then it's like, holy crap, this stuff is so loud. So goofy. Now this part is also good. That's one of the fun things too, is like every time there's some kind of impact sound or whatever, that's when you cut, because you kind of like time it, like when you time it to the beat of music or whatever. But this time it's like you have the sound to go off of instead of music. Makes it nice and satisfying, I think.
Okay. Why is this so? Why does the casual watcher take the sound for...
Now this You could hear. Okay, so I have the sound effect, footsteps on a dock or something. Oh, balcony footsteps, which is basically just like on a wooden surface. I had my own footsteps in there, like the audio of them, but it wasn't quite loud enough, and it didn't sound right. So I wanted to add some extra in there.
Why does the casual watcher
Just to kind of give that little extra enhancement.
take the sound for granted, while the artist slaves over it night and day?
I love this shot here. The sound was so nice in this.
Artist slaves over it night and day.
Put it back down. Step, step, step. Gravel. Bang. Fun little. I love all the building scenes in this one too.
I made a video.
Oh, I don't know if anyone caught that this time. There's the Poopy Easter egg. Poopy. That's my cat, Poopy. He's a crazy boy. But yeah, I had his name up there, and I just frame by frame animated it to kind of track him, kind of not.
An entire video only using sound. Not music, sound.
I had no idea, dude, that hot glue guns were that cheap. Obviously, you could get expensive ones, but like this one was only $4. Like, I cannot believe it. I was expecting it to be way more than that. Really like this outlet shot too. This is fun. I did this like I had the camera kind of, I don't know, probably 10-15 feet away from me, and then I just had it zoomed in, so it was kind of like this. There's a specific term for it. I'm almost positive, like a professional term, but I like it how when I stand far away, but I have it zoomed in as if I'm close. Like there's something about it. I don't know what it's called. There's a term for it though, and something about it just looks cool.
What is the purpose of sound? To know where we are? To know what's going on around us? To tell stories that the eye can't.
And see, it was nice because this whole time, I basically had, like, I didn't have to do a ton of editing necessarily. I just had to go off a feel, like when to cut, which was a good exercise as well, I think. Because a lot of this, you know, there was sometimes I would cut on like an owl or something, where there's a shot here.
To know what's going on around us?
There's one.
To tell stories that the eye can't see.
I don't remember. There was one particular instance where there was some bird or something that made noise, and I used that to cut. But a lot of this was basing the cut off of the dialogue. That was like how the pace of the delivery was going.
To know what's going on around us?
This was a lot. There was a lot of feel involved with this one. With this one, though.
I can't see. Since I can't use music for this video, I have the next best thing. Nature.
This was kind of fun. I had this idea as well for a hot minute. I was gonna do it differently, where I had like the lav mic or whatever, but I kind of forgot about it, and I didn't really feel like doing it after a certain point.
Because what is sound but nature's music?
See, this is one of those things too. I had it spaced out a lot. Like I needed to add. Like I said just a minute ago, I was basing a lot of the pace and the feel of this video off of just. I literally closed my eyes and just listened to it, and to see how, like, I was trying to figure out how long to make this pause between this word and this word. So I would literally hit play, and then just whenever it felt right, I would smash the space bar and get it to pause, and then I would do that. I would, you know, do it however I needed to do it to where I timed it just right to where it felt good. And that's I've done that a lot actually. Where if I'm just trying to figure out how long to make a pause between words, I'll just close my eyes and listen to it, and then hit space and pause it whenever it feels right, and then that's when I'll line it up and time out the dialogue.
Is sound but nature's music?
That tactic I used multiple times throughout this video as well, because like I said, there's no music, so I had to base it a lot off of just how it sounded. There's a lot of audio transitions here too. You've got a lot of this where they overlap, and so you've got like this audio fades in, and so does this one, and then by the time this one is all the way faded in, this one starts to fade out, and then this one starts to fade in earlier, and it's like it's just a lot of in and out, and in and out, in and out, just so it doesn't sound all choppy. And again, it's hard to kind of gauge when to cut these because there's no music to cut on. You don't cut on beats, you just kind of I just kind of had to feel it. And of course, instead of, you know, having music to guide it, you had to sort of transition with the audio. So the next clip had to come in underneath, and then the audio would start for the next clip, and then you'd cut afterwards. Which it kind of bothered me in this shot that the microphone shook, but I liked the shot itself, so I just looked the other way with that. Oh, this whole sequence here is a fun one. I really like. Stay tuned for the next like 20 seconds because this next sequence, I really love how I did the sound on this one and the shots too. Oh, this is my favorite shot for the whole video right here. This is my favorite shot and audio where the rocks crunch and I just walk up. Like that's my favorite the whole video. This is my favorite shot. And then you've got underneath, yeah, you've got the creek sounds, which I was kind of surprised that the actual creek in real life didn't make very much noise. And as the camera, so this is one of the things I paid attention to as well. The camera's high up off the ground here, so any potential bugs, insects, crickets, what have you, you wouldn't really hear. But then as soon as we cut to low to the ground, close to the water, obviously it's loud the whole time, but it's the bugs. You get those a little bit louder as well because you're closer to the ground. So you would think, like inadvertently, you would be like, okay, or subconsciously you would say, okay, so now that we're closer to the ground, we're gonna have a better time hearing any sort of bugs. And so the bug volume, I turned that up once we cut from being high up off the ground to lower. It's kind of like you're there with the bugs. Also, I just really like this shot, too. This is one of my favorite ones from the video as well. And that little sound you just heard of me walking backwards, you see that? Actually, what I did with this, so there's this, right, where I walked up. I just cut this sound out, copied it over here, and then reversed it. So like this, I'm walking forward, you hear the crunches. And then this, I'm walking backwards. So it was in the same exact location too, so I just took the sound effect that I had originally created and then reversed it. That way, you know, when you go through, it just seems like it's obviously not, or it's not obvious, but it's not, if you pay really super close attention, it's not going to make all that crunching sound because I'm walking in the grass behind there, but ain't nobody paying that much attention, so it works out. That's also a really fun one. So how I did this, I had this shot. Fun fact, in this shot, the tripod was in the creek. And obviously the creek wasn't that high, so it was like not a huge deal. But I had the tripod in the creek. And so first I shot jumping across, and then on the impact I cut. And then I had to put the camera, so I jumped across initially for the first shot, and then I jumped, I kind of walked along the bank and then grabbed the camera, brought it over here, and then jumped back to jump back again, and then I just timed it on the impact. So as soon as you see I jump and hit the ground over here, is when we cut to this shot, and that's when we go through and like have the little follow through where we walk back. So those are so fun where I can like, it's one big motion, but it takes up 2 or 3 different shots and like changing the angle in between. That's always a fun thing to do. And then, of course, when you have the audio tied in, it all just kind of goes seamlessly together. See? Beautiful. Beautiful.
When we are present, what do we...
And then this, again, all of this up top here, all of these shots are timed based on the dialogue. So instead of having a music track to line it all up to, I have each time I start a new sentence, basically... Or like, it's when I start a sentence or like when I emphasize. Like when I, let me give you an example.
What do we hear? It's one thing.
So like, it didn't start when I said it's one thing. It started when I said, the cut here. I said it's one thing to simply hear a sound by accident. Instead of starting when I started the sentence, instead of cutting when I started the sentence, I cut whenever I said one thing. Like, it's one thing. Blah, 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 blah. So instead of cutting at the beginning of that sentence, I cut where the emphasis is. because then when you're listening, it's kind of like, ba-doom. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, maybe it makes sense in my head, but like it kind of feels like the rhythm of the dialogue is it's how I based the cut. Also, just I had some insects in here because I felt as though this whole sequence was just a little bit too quiet. And another thing too here, like this is something I did sort of subconsciously in the edit, but as I'm talking about it, it makes sense. So I mentioned back here a little ways. Where was that shot? Where is it? Here it is. So I mentioned here how I have the bug sounds when the camera's closer to the ground. You can hear them a little bit better. And then I did that for the same reason I did that here, where I added in the insect noises. And we also have this here, another one of my favorite shots. And then I have it where I'm at the base of the tree looking up. So all of these 3 shots have this insect sound because we're closer to the ground where all the insects live. Generally. Not all of them live there, but you get the idea.
Song of nature. She sings to us every day. But do we ever truly...
And a lot of that, too, those birds in the background are real. Because, again, these are just insects. These are birds. And I had this up really loud because I really liked it. Like, there were some of the shots where I didn't actually do anything in the shot. I just had the camera set up where it looked cool. And then just let it record audio. And then I got a lot of those really neat bird sounds. And organic bird sounds, too. That's one of the beautiful things about living out in the woods is you get all the nature. All the sounds.
Truly hear. Truly listen. When you listen to her song, what does she say? What is she telling you?
The birds.
When Mother Nature sings, she has rhythm, harmony, grace, and beauty. It's hard to focus on these things. The beauty, the grace, the harmony. It makes it challenging when, much louder, we hear noise, ruckus, that rooster. That damn rooster. In a test of...
So I got a comment, Chloe commented, and she was like, no way the rooster just crowed on cue. And I was like, that would be awesome, but I had to add it in because otherwise it would have been a pain in the neck to like... Really, honestly, that day, I was looking forward to the rooster going off. For once in my life, I was actually looking forward to hearing the rooster because otherwise I would have had to fake it or something. But I got the, it took it a while, but I finally got the shot with the rooster noise in it. Because I was like, no way, this is ridiculous, no way. I was afraid it wasn't going to happen, but it worked out. And actually, if you see here, there's a little notch right here, bang. These like couple of frames. What happened, where I got this shot, or where I got this audio clip from, was from, let me see here, where is it? Oh wait, it's this one. So this shot here is where I took that rooster sound effect from and how I did that. Well, there was it was like earlier on in the clip. And there was the rooster had gone off, but the thing is, if you pay really, really close attention to these couple of frames, you hear a little click. You hear that? There's a little bitty click. Literally 2 frames worth of sound. What that is I was closing the door to set up that shot of me opening the door and walking outside. So I was basically, that was the best audio of the rooster I had. There was a lot of other ones, but they were so distant it was hard to tell. So this was the one I used, and it had those 2 little frames of door closing sound effect. So if you have like the bestest quality of earbuds and paid super, super close attention, that might have been something you noticed. I don't know. But honestly, probably not. I didn't even notice it when I was watching it back.
That damn rooster. In a test of presence.
That's the reason I used that particular line was because that is like a catchphrase when we're just, outside doing stuff or whatever, and we're just trying to enjoy, the peace and quiet or whatever. And the only thing you hear is that rooster. It's like, bro, shut up. It's hilarious.
I go outside. I go outside to sit and to listen. I bring my pocket notebook with me to write down everything that I can hear.
Kind of thought I needed to include that too for those that came for the pocket notebook. It's like I had to give them some love, right? Gotta bring attention to the notebook.
You hear that?
Also, that was Okay, so whenever I put in this pen click sound effect, but the awesome thing about it was that I put it in this exact location first try. So I didn't have to put it in and line it up. I just accidentally threw it in right where it needed to go. And it was perfect. It was exact. I'm like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. The coolest thing ever.
Hear that?
And so it just hyped it, just turned it up a little bit, and
You hear that?
worked out nicely.
You can only hear that.
Also, let's see.
You can.
Where is it? Here we go. This clip, C5180. What this is one of that, I mentioned it earlier, I had the sound effect I recorded instead of getting off of Epidemic Sound. Because they didn't have a pen writing on paper sound effect that I really, really liked. They just didn't have it. They had several that were good options in any other circumstance, but the pen was like, and it was like writing so fast. And I was like, bro, I do not write that fast. And if I do, it's not with that much pressure to make that much noise. So I had to fabricate my own sound effect, which honestly I think it worked out really cool. I think it worked out nicely, but
You can only hear that.
and it's cool because technically you can't see that I'm actually writing anything. So having that audio enhancement kind of encourages that fact. Like, you know, he's probably writing something.
When you listen. Otherwise, it gets taken for granted. Listen to the song of the birds.
And so you hear in the background that rooster, but it's just so distant it wouldn't have been a good recording to use.
To the song of the birds. Listen to how they sing.
No way, I did it again.
It is beautiful.
I did it again. I totally not on purpose, but when we get these two shots here on the ground, I put the insect sounds back. Maybe I did do it on purpose. I don't remember because it's been a couple of days, but I'm like, that's crazy talk.
Beautiful. There is beauty in it.
Also, I really like the pine cone shot. I had to tear out a piece of grass though because it was in the way to get this particular shot. There was something that was sticking up like on the left side really bad, and I was like, nah, can't have it.
How do we hear these things if we do not?
Also, peep the sun going down. I didn't realize that until I think I was watching it back last night or something, or yesterday, day before. I was like, man, that's beautiful. So really, really sweet.
Not listen. As I sit out in nature and listen to the sound she makes, I begin to feel something.
Deep breath.
I can close my eyes and know exactly where I am and what's happening around me.
Oh, peep I had an airplane pass by sound effect from Epidemic Sound. And that's what this is. I was kind of surprised I was able to get this shot as clear as I did. For some reason, I didn't think I could do it for some reason. I didn't know if it would zoom enough, but it sure did.
Nature's song is not only one of beauty, one of grace, and one of harmony, but of extraordinarily specific detail. And as I continue to listen to the songs of birds and of trees, I find inspiration for my writing.
Oh yeah.
And
This is one I get comments on a lot, is like these shots of, where each clip has a lower opacity. So like you can see multiple things at once and it's all kind of faded a little bit.
to the song
That's a really fun thing to do. Really fun
songs
thing to
of
make.
birds and of trees, I find
Because then I'm meditating or whatever, and then like at the same time I'm writing down the things that I'm hearing whilst in this state of stillness.
inspiration for my writing. And while in the throes of writing, it occurs to me.
I have this shot of me looking up. Wasn't on purpose, by the way. I just looked up because I was thinking of something. But then, I used it as this, it occurs to me. Because it looks like something's occurring to me, which is cool.
Writing. It occurs to me. It occurs to me why we, the casual movie
And
watcher,
again, we have the shot of me watching the movie.
take
with
for
the
granted
lights in
that
my
which
face.
sound designers and sound editors work so tirelessly to create.
Rooster! See, that would have been a good one to use, but I slammed that little mannequin right in front of the microphone before it stopped, so too bad. And see, one of the things I think I was subconsciously doing this, but then I caught myself. In the shooting, I was, dropping stuff and making extra noise when I was doing things because I needed sound effects.
I stole the idea for this build from a Van Neistat video.
Thievery.
If you truly want something.
Speaking of Van Neistat, dude, I'm on a Van Neistat binge. Like, I think I've watched almost every video in his catalog in the last, like, 4 days. Something like that. Like, it's been close. It's crazy.
Then make your version of that thing out of whatever you have at your disposal.
In his video, he built an Oscar shrine for his friend who was nominated for an Oscar.
This was kind of cool. I never did specify what I was doing here because, quite frankly, it didn't really matter. But what I was doing in this shot was I was filling up. I had 2 different Folgers coffee bean lids, and I filled them up with sticks, like broken sticks, and I punched a bunch of hot glue in there. That way they kind of had a little bit of weight to them, and I could also have some substance inside. That way when I glued the 2 lids together, they weren't so squishy. They had a little bit of guts, so that way they could stand a little bit more firm.
I thought it was cool and related to this story, so sue me.
See here, I had this, the mannequin's already glued on top of that one. And then after I got this all done, I put this on top and then messed with the sides a little bit later. It all turned out pretty cool, actually.
The reason we as casual movie watchers take sound design and sound editing for granted.
Also, if you didn't notice, this is, what you're seeing on the screen is this spot in the edit. So, like, this is funny, because it's like the display of what we're looking at here. It's kind of cool, but yeah.
Granted is because we're supposed to.
Bird sound.
Every sound we hear.
We're supposed to. That was the big epiphany of this whole thing, was like, why do we take it all for granted, though? Like, why do we do that? Because that was a genuine, I'm like, what the heck's going on? And so what I decided for this video was like that we're supposed to take it all for granted, because what the goal is as sound designers in a movie, I would assume, is to make the environment of the movie as immersive as possible. So make the sounds as accurate and as true to life as they can be. That way, you don't take, if you see some big fight scene and there's no sound and everybody's just fighting, it kind of is weird because you don't hear anything. But in real life you would hear something, and if you did hear something, you would take it for granted. Actually, I have it written down in my book. I have it written down exactly what I had. I almost put this quote in the video, but I didn't. Let's see. This was like a clever little line that I didn't put in, but I don't know. It was in the first draft, I think. First draft. Yeah, here we go. The question is, what is something that you don't notice when it is there, but when it is not there, it's the first thing you notice? So, I think, for me at least, sound design and sound effects is one of those things that, when it's there, and when it's done well, you take it for granted, right? Just like in real life. But if it's not there, and if it's kind of, if there aren't any good sounds, or if it's just kind of poorly edited or whatever, it's like one of the first things you notice. It's like kind of weird. It's like, why is this? Everything feels out of place because the sound isn't right. So, to me, that felt kind of like the proper analogy. But again, I left it out of the video. But
We're supposed to. Every sound we hear.
So my whole point with that was we're supposed to take sound for granted because if we didn't, something would be wrong. It's just it's supposed to be part of the ambience, part of the environment.
In life or the movies is all a part of our environment. If you walked outside and heard nothing but the thoughts in your head, something would seem off.
Oh,
but
here's a fly. I put that in there just for funsies, just to kind of get a little, because I think I used this shot earlier. So like, I also wanted something that wasn't the same bugs I was using. So the fly sound effect is what we used.
In your head, something would seem off. But when everything is normal and the birds and the trees greet you with their song, we look the other way. The same goes in the movies. Good sound design and good sound editing brings us closer to the film. With these things, we don't simply watch. We are there. This is why we take it for granted. we take it for granted because
Like this shot too. The leaves didn't look as green as they did in real life, but you know, I don't know.
we do
I think it was just how the lighting was too.
it in our real life environment. It's
Everyone must be busy tonight. Everyone must be doing something else.
only when we stop and we listen.
Oh, yeah, this was kind of funny. So I was like, it's only when we stop and when we listen.
And we
then-
listen.
I don't know if anyone noticed this, but there was a tree in the background. I heard a noise. It sounded like a tree was breaking. I'm like, wait, what?
It's
Which I think, I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah. I just thought that was kind of a funny thing to keep in there. It's like,
we
well,
listen.
listening. I'm like, okay, what's going on back there?
It's only when we stop and when we listen that we are able to truly appreciate nature's song.
So what I was doing with this is like, let me explain here. So the whole point of the listening to nature section of this was like to drive home the point of you hear it when you appreciate, or when you like when you hear it when you listen, but whenever you're not listening, you don't hear it. And when you take time to appreciate the thing, you know, that's when you really give it credit or whatever. And then we turn around and talk about the Oscars, and then I'm like, okay, and because, you know, when you appreciate the sounds of nature and things like that, you are able to give credit. Same goes for, you know, if you're a casual movie watcher, you know, who cares? But the people that, you know, nominate people for Oscars, they're not casual movie watchers. And so they pay super close attention, and they have the appreciation for something as specific as sound design. Jake, what's up, man? Hello. How we doing? How we doing, man? Good to see you, man. It's been quiet up in here today.
That very appreciation that in the year
Johnny, what's up, my man?
1990
Welcome back. Or still here, I don't know.
presented the Oscar for
Bang.
Best Sound Editing to Ben Burt and Richard Hims
Boom.
for their work on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That was such a... Also, first of all, very good. How's it going, Gare? Going good. Glad you're going good, Jake. Good to hear that. So this was the crazy thing. Like I mentioned in the beginning, but there weren't very many people here. I'm going to reiterate because we're back to the end of the video. But it was so crazy that everything, like, the way it lined up. Because, like, we had watched the Oscars. And then the next day, just because I had been thinking about it for a while, I wanted to watch this movie. And W movie. It is a W movie, Jake. But I wanted to watch this just because. Just for the fun of it, right? And then... Let's see, no, that's out of order. I watched this movie first. Oh, no. I watched the Oscars first, and then watched the movie. And then Dad told me that this movie won an Oscar for sound editing. And I'm like, no freaking way. And it was like, it all worked itself out to where I could just plug it into this story, and it would be perfect. Also, good grief, this thing is being annoying. I need to do that. One of the projects I have, I mentioned earlier in the stream, I have this green screen for the overhead rig. And I was going to duct tape it down to the clipboard, but I haven't gotten around to doing that, and it's kind of annoying me. And what would solve that annoyance is duct tape, so, you know.
And the Oscar for Best Achievement in Sound Effects Editing goes to...
I think it's kind of clever. This was not on purpose, I'm sure, but they're announcing the Oscar for sound effects editing, and you can hear him ripping open the envelope.
Ben Burt and Richard Hims for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the applause. I actually had to fake that because it started doing weird things and playing music, so I had to add in the applause sound effect. That way I could elongate the applause to go through the end screen. And thank you, patrons. For real, though, that being a patron or a channel member really means a lot, because that's like how you know, especially in the beginning of being monetized, the ad revenue is not super plentiful. Not super plentiful. So people that support via Patreon / channel memberships / other means, it really helps. It really helps. Jake says, I love how you ended it. Hey, I'm glad, man. I'm glad. I was happy with it. It's one of the things I feel like people have a lot of trouble with is beginning videos and ending videos. And I think this was one that I had done pretty well. And a lot of people in my inner circle were like really, really happy with this video. I'm like, all right. See, it's funny because like the people on YouTube and like the algorithm, not necessarily the algorithm because it's all people based, but like most of people like haven't at least not clicked on it. Jake says, my bad for missing the stream mostly. Hey, you're good, man. You're good. It's all good. Like, that's one of those things. I get it, because not everyone has time, nor do they always want to. And, like, I was kind of, like, whatever about it, but, no, it's cool. It's cool. I just want to look here. How's it doing? This video is currently, how are we doing as far as, like, yeah, 7 of 10. So, not great, but it could be worse. It could be worse. So, we're doing all right. I think it's just, again, I think it's because this is not about a pocket notebook, so people aren't going to watch it. Kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But I've said this before, like, I don't want to just be stuck to the pocket notebook thing. I want to just do what I want creatively, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, man. Also, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I really enjoy doing the commentaries over the editing timeline. So shout out to whoever's idea that was. I kind of already forgot, but this is a fun-looking timeline. I'm really happy with it. It's cool because, so if you haven't noticed already, the green on all of these clips represents the green represents the audio, and the blue represents the video. Obviously, if they're separate. If they're not separate, it's just all blue. I think it's good to introduce new Pocket Notebook viewers to your wide range of developed content, you know. No, that makes sense. That makes sense, Jake. That's a good point. It's like if I think part of I just wanted to it's a trick. It's tricky. It's way better when you see the timeline. Yeah, I agree. Cuz it's I think it's better for me too as the commentator, because it's like I can go more into depth on certain things and it's all right here. But no, Jake, back to what you were saying. It is good to introduce new people to the stuff that I'm making, because like when it comes to the type of content some people make, you just got to do something to get it out. And I'm thinking about doing like I've heard people have this strategy of like every other video. So like one for you, one for me, like the people that, you know, say for example in my situation, every other week I would do a Pocket Notebook video. And then the other week I would do whatever I wanted. Jake says, why don't you put all the sound on one line? The reason I don't is because, first of all, it overlaps a lot of times. So, especially for like transitional sequences. So, like we have, you know, this will kind of go into this, and then this will kind of go into this, and it just makes it all kind of flow a little bit more smooth, in my opinion. And obviously, this editor is different than others, so it kind of works a little bit differently. So, like all the all the dialogue generally is on the bottom, and then I just kind of, whatever makes it flow, and this is all just kind of like a creative nonsense. So, to answer your question, it kind of depends. Some I have to put underneath and put in between, and I can't do that if it's all on the same line, so. And plus, honestly, doing it this way, it looks cool. That's, you know. Because then if you do it all on the same line, oh, you're good, Jake. He says, I see. See, it's just confusing to look at. I don't understand editing. It's a skill for real. No, it is a skill, and it's hard to understand. Like, I didn't start editing to where it would do layers until just a couple of years ago, really, when I started doing more. Like, I started doing fewer videos. Johnny says, sounds have layers too. Gare's pro sound designer now. Hey, I don't know about that, but this definitely has helped me. This video was a really good one to do for my skills, because now I'm like a little bit better at sound editing. And my newest video, actually, I'm in the middle of editing. It's kind of funny because I wanted to, you know, obviously I'm going to go back to using music because it's just nice. But I haven't put any music in yet because I'm used to doing it this way. So like I want to kind of, like tomorrow when I come back to it, I'm going to do more. I'm going to get some music tracks and like add them in and stuff. I also need to do a little bit more shooting as well, just some overhead stuff. But No, it's just really satisfying to look at all this and like to see, because like this took a couple of days. What video had the biggest timeline in editing? Well, let's see. Of my recent videos, let's take a look here. I'm gonna do this. There we go. So I'm just gonna scroll through. Obviously, it depends because they're long. Like the length of the video has a lot to do with it. I think the notebook, the pocket, the mini bookshelf had a pretty big timeline. Let me pull it up and look at it. See, that came out not 310, but it was 3.3. So this one. So the timeline for the bookshelf video, I think it was pretty big, because that was the last 10-minute video I made. Oh, you know, that's not too... Wait a minute. 906. What is this one? How do you decide how long to make it? Honestly, I don't really decide. It just kind of happens. Truth be told, it just happens. I don't really do that kind of thing on purpose. I can already see you in next video walking with a new microphone and recording it even better. See, you know what's funny? Dang it, Johnny. I wanted to do that for this sound effect video, but I just never really got around to it, which was kind of just me being lazy. Like, I wanted to do it to where... Hold on one second. 25. I guess that's right. Anyway, I wanted to do it where, like, every sound that I shot, I wanted to go back and manually re-record it, but it didn't work out that way because I was kind of lazy about it, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah, this is the Pocket Notebook timeline for show. Oh, see, this is a lot of... Can I just say, I love the thumbnail. Hey, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thumbnails are a royal pain in the neck, but I feel like I've finally gotten a rhythm and like a style. That's the thing. I think I've found a style. If anything, an editing style of my thumbnails. Like, I really like how they've been edited lately. So I'm glad you noticed and appreciate that. Also, this, Jake, because you had asked a second ago, how long, or where's my longest one? My biggest timeline. This is the timeline for the Pocket Notebook bookshelf video. It's longer because it's a longer video, but it's not as many layers. It's only got 5 layers instead of like 8. But there's a lot of... I really like this video. So, you know, it's just a big video. There's like 18 different songs in this one. But let's see here. Johnny says you can just use iPhone with new mic set as recorder. See, I would actually... What I would have done, if I would have done that, I would have just taken my camera and then set it up with this microphone and then just gone through and recorded everything. Or what I could have done is taken my new wireless mics and attached it to my pant leg or something. That wireless mic is easy to hide. Yeah, true enough. Realize how much cutting and overlapping went into editing. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. I don't know. I almost think I do it kind of excessive. Like, I kind of do it a lot. I do a lot of layering and cutting. Or at least a lot of layering. Ads inserted. Delay ads. Insert ads. I didn't know I could delay ads. That's kind of cool. Is there an ad? I didn't think unless it's just doing that automatically as I go. I don't know. But yeah. I could use these, the Ulanzi J12s that I got for my phone for the Just Garrett channel. See... The thing... Oh... I just made a realization. I could totally use the freaking USB-C on the GoPro, because the problem with the ZV-1 is it has USB, or a micro USB instead of USB-C. So, like, theoretically for the GoPro, I could hook up the receiver, except it won't fit. Damn. I was going to say I could totally just put the receiver in the GoPro, and then I can use that as an audio, but I can't. But actually, though, if I have the GoPro, like, close to my mouth, it actually makes a pretty good audio. It makes for some pretty good sounds. But no, I would totally love to get... I mean, I have a lav mic, technically. Well, I have a lav mic. But it's it's not as wireless as these. Like, these are so nice and wireless, but those I have the receiver, which has a wire attached to it, which is the mic. And then there's I'm sorry. There's the receiver, which is wired to the camera. And then there's the pickup or the mic where I have to have it strapped to my belt or something. And then it's wired to so it's like technically wireless, but it's just a separation between wires. It's not actually wireless. Hey, Maddie, how we doing? Hello. Commentary's over. We're just chit-chatting now. Sometimes I use Insta360 Go 3 as microphone when we don't have wireless mics. Hey, and honestly, that's fair. It's like any camera can be used for that kind of thing, because I mean they all record audio. So, and if you have it in a good enough situation, it sounds pretty decent. That's one thing I want to do is like fix some I don't know. I want to implement, I don't know, some kind of like blanket or something. That way I have like a little bit better audio. You got like a professional recording setup. It's cool. You know, it looks that way, but it's just the boom arm. Like, it's the boom arm, and it's attached to my desk. And I have foam up on the walls from an old mattress. But, like, I mean, technically, it's probably, you could consider it professional. But if it was professional, this is genuine. I think if it was professional, every square inch of the walls would be foam, to where there's, like, no echo whatsoever. And it'd be a better microphone and a better thing. But it's actually, nah, bro. I think I straight stole this, because back when I first started my podcast, when I was putting it on Spotify and everything, I bought this Blue Yeti mic. I bought the mic, and then this. There was a whole kit, right? I had the mic stand, the boom arm, the pop or the shock absorber thing, and the pop filter. It was like $150 for the whole setup. It was dope. Like, it was a steal. Jake says, any plans for the new setup after you move? Well, that is still in the works, but it's like, it's really one of those things. I've about figured it out as much in theory as I can, but it's going to come down to executing and actually doing it. So, like, I'll be living in Maddie's parents' basement, and so before we get ourselves our own apartment, and so I'll have my setup like down there, and it'll be first of all, I'll have a lot more. Yeah, you'll see a video on it. Almost guaranteed. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna have a lot more space than I do now. Like, now I only have like 36 square feet or something, or 6 times 6, 36. Yeah, 6. Yeah, I basically only have 36 square feet, and literally almost half of this room is taken up by my desk. So that's a thing. Posters, Cartoon Commotion, welcome in. Posters with frames and junk like that is good for sound absorption. Okay, that's fair. I have this. You can't see it. It's out of the shot. But I have this Three Stooges poster. It's not like a big wood frame or anything. It's kind of plastic, but there's like glass. So not actually. I think it would probably be more echoey than absorption. But I have this poster here. Unpopular opinion. I like small rooms. I do too, Jake. I do too. I love this space because in small spaces in general, you're forced to be hyper efficient with your space. You know, you don't have a bunch of junk laying around, and you also don't have a bunch of empty space. You know, everything is accounted for, everything is where it needs to go, and it's all just perfect. Like, it's perfectly in its home, right? Everything has a home, everything's exact. Easy, clean, kinda cozy, helps you throw away more junk. Yeah, and it not only does it help you throw away more junk, but it helps you to not accumulate as much junk in the first place. That is the trick, my friend. There's actually a video on that. I'm gonna send it in the chat because it's a big deal. I'm obsessed. Let me see here. Which one is it? I'm gonna find the clutter. Here we go. Copy. I'm gonna paste the link. I think I can do this. I don't know if it'll. Yeah, okay. That link is to a Van Neistat video if you want to watch it. It's basically about what we're talking about. It's about clutter, throwing things away and whatnot. And he talks about, he had an apartment in New York City where literally the entire apartment was like, I think he said it was 144 square feet. Bet. Watch it after stream. It's definitely good. Anything Van Neistat, I highly recommend. But he had an apartment in New York City that was single room occupancy. single room occupancy, and he had like one bed, and there was like just everything was perfect, right? It was like this. It was like double the size of my office, but he lived in it, right? So it still wasn't very big, and it's really cool how he has it all set up. Cartoon Commotion. I liked your video on notebooks. You keep your notebooks a lot like I do. The numbering of the pages and stuff. Yeah, it's a good strategy. It's definitely a good strategy. But I got this. I was talking about Cartoon Commotion. Let me know if you have any opinions on this or feedback. But like I was talking to them earlier on the stream about how like, I don't want to be like the. At the end of the day, like the newest video is not doing as well because it's not about the Pocket Notebook or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine because I don't want to just be the Pocket Notebook guy. Like I want to be able to just be creative and make what I want. So let me know if there's anything, because I assume you came to the channel from the Pocket Notebook. Let me know if there's anything more you would like to see. Like maybe you could give some feedback and I can make a video if you suggest or whatever. Like just anything. Like what kind of things do you like to watch? Basically is my question. My room's 10 by 6, so it's a bit bigger than your streaming room. Yeah, not bad. You got an extra 4 feet, which, yeah, it's good. I like having a small space. And actually, my room, I don't know how it is in Canada, Jake, but we have, like, at least in the state of Missouri, we have, like, you have to have rooms a certain size for, like, I guess for safety reasons or for whatever. It's like a code or whatever. You have to have rooms a certain size and then have, like, windows and whatnot. I think mine's like right on the line to where, if it was any smaller, it'd be technically too small, but it's good size right now. Also, when I made this last notebook, I did the spackling with the whiteout to make it look like those OG composition books, and all I did was just create bubbles because of all the whiteout is like raised, kind of goofy. But now the future setup will be like in more of an open floor plan. So it'll kind of be like what I'll do. I have this board here where I do all the sticky notes and stuff. I have like it's not the wall, it's a board. So I can like pull it out and there's these feet that the board's like you can put the board in there and then it'll stand up on its own. And so what I'll do is I'll probably use that as sort of a divider to like make my own little room. But obviously it'll be temporary, but it'll sort of enclose everything. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm moving in May. My new room's a bit bigger, so I'll see if I like it more. Hey, you never know. I like videos. Cartoon says I like videos that take something that feels conventional and reframes it with an unconventional, countercultural perspective. So like the Notebook, but then also things you do with it. Okay. Something that feels conventional and reframes it with an unconventional, countercultural perspective. Other than the Notebook, is there any other particular example? Because I think I get what you're saying, but an example, I need examples. Examples help. Because, like, I don't want to just quit doing Pocket Notebook videos because like they get views, but then again you don't want to just be chasing views all the time, so it's tricky. But then again, it's like this is a huge part of my creative process, so it's like I almost feel like I have to make videos about it, or at least with them somewhat, because it's a big part of it, how everything happens, right? So I don't know. It's just one of those little creative dilemmas. Also, I don't know if I could do this yet because it's still the middle of March. Write it out, but don't overdo it, like every other week kind of thing. I agree with that. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. Although not next week because it'll be another non-Pocket Notebook because I have some obligations to fulfill. Free of charge. How about some free memberships, gang? What do you say? Hey. Alright. What do you say we do 5 mo? Yay! W-Gare. Hey, W YouTube, because I have no control over it. All I'm saying. Gift 5 now. Bang. Everyone. You get a membership, and you get a membership, and you get a membership. All right. It's so funny when they just gift it to people that I've never seen even comment. But then again, people subscribe without commenting, so it's like, it's whatever. Also, it depends, because you have to allow gifts on your account in order to get one. Brent, me boy, got a thingy. That was a good 5. All the people I've seen before. Yeah, the first 5 anyway. The second 5, I've seen a couple, but the last 3 were like, what? But hey. Hey, that's cool. I forgot that I had it. I mean, I didn't forget, but it's like, I couldn't, because I have to do it. It's once a month. I didn't remember when I gave the last ones out, which actually I can look. Oh, yeah. I just lost 10. Okay, so yeah. Okay, what was it? The 10th or the 11th? Okay. But yeah. I always like it whenever it gives it to people that, you know, always be watching stuff and commenting and stuff, because I mean those are the ones that deserve it, right? Like they're here, they're hanging out, they're vibing, so it's cool to see that those people get the free ones. And that's what's cool about YouTube too, is like you can just give them away, obviously, which actually I've thought about. Mine just ran out too. I appreciate the generosity. Hey man, I got you, homie. But bravo. Favorite video of yours so far. Dude, speaking of Tim Brown, he was one of the ones that got a membership. He literally just commented. I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen him, but I haven't commented. Literally 12 seconds ago, just commented on a video. Very well done. Says it was a masterpiece. What a legend. Hopefully he comes in and says hi. Yo, come to the stream. Say hi, my man. Look at all those emojis, Brent. Or not Brent. Those are Brent emojis, but Jake. Love the emojis, my man. My main man. Also, you said thanks for the generosity. I just want to make it clear. These are free because YouTube, they recently updated and did a thing where like you can give away 10 free memberships every month, like for gifting or whatever. So, and obviously you can buy memberships for people if you really want to. Maybe make it like a giveaway or something. Cartoon and commotion, some ideas, weird furniture, systems for thinking, process of creating something. Okay, I like that. That's the beauty of. I think there's beauty in the challenge of making videos about how I create things, because it's so much about instinct and feel. That's a video idea, actually. Hold on. Feel. No, that's definitely a video I want to make, I think, is sort of how I create. Because it's so, like, I feel like it's impossible for me to explain to anybody. Right on. See, there you go. You thought of something just in the concept of it. Yeah, dude. And, you know, I love it when I get ideas from subscribers. That's cool. I mean, if you're not a subscriber, you ought to become one. But I don't know. I can't assume. But either way, like, it's so cool getting ideas from people, because it's like, somebody could just have a different perspective. Like, it's so hard. I made a video about this, actually, where it's impossible for me to look at my own stuff objectively and therefore, like, give myself feedback on things. So it's so unbelievably helpful when ideas come in from the community. Whether or not I use those ideas, it's just nice to see what other people think. I subbed today. Hey, I'm glad. Thanks for being here, dude. I'm glad to hear that. What was the video that you saw that made you subscribe? I know you said it was a Pocket Notebook video, but like which one? Because I made several. I could probably guess. Go to analytics and guess, actually. Not that one. Was it the philosophy video? No, probably not. You know what? It was probably this one. 83. Good grief. Didn't actually sub till this stream. Oh, okay. Okay, I see you. W sub A. So you probably watched one of my, this is my assumption, you probably watched one of the other videos, didn't subscribe, but then because you watched the video, the stream popped up on your feed, and then you subscribed because we were talking about it. Am I correct in that assumption? Maybe I ain't, maybe I ain't. You never know. Let's see. What was your favorite video you ever made? My favorite was about your entire YouTube journey a few months ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one, let me see here. Which one was it? It was the one I made. It was the last episode of Vlogmas, Jake, I think. It was the 15-minute video, full story from December 24th. That's probably what you're talking about. Cartoon says I did watch the Pocket Notebook video, though. That's basically what happened. Oh, cool, cool. My favorite video I've ever made? That's so hard. Theoretically, it's the newest one. Like, generally speaking, I like the newest one. Like, it's my new favorite. But I don't know. It's hard telling. I really like the Pocket Notebook bookshelf build. And there's a lot of ones I could go back and watch over and over again. Like, there's some that transcend time and just are still relevant, and I still really like them. Cartoon asks, how long have you been YouTubing as of now? As of right this second, it has been almost, it's been 4.5 years, actually, as of today. Wow, 4.5 years as of today. Because I started the channel, August 17th of 2019. Yeah, August 17th. So it's been... No, I'm sorry. That's 8. So that's been 4 years and 5 months. So August 17th of 2024, it'll be 5 years of YouTubing. Which is insane. Just thinking he's going to say the newest one since you improve each time. And you know, that's, like I said, that's why I said generally the newest one is my favorite every time. Because not always is that the case. Not always is that the case. But I do try and make each one better. And you know, it's not like I don't try to make it better overall. I try to improve something little. Like there's something that I learned from last week's video that I improved in this week's video. So that's kind of the gist. Cartoon says, dude, you're killing it. 3K plus subs in 4-ish years is excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I gained a lot of those from shorts, and that was a whole era of the channel where, like, I posted a bunch of shorts, and it wasn't creatively fulfilling, so I just quit making shorts. I made a video about that, too, quitting YouTube Shorts. I really like that video, too, actually, now that I'm thinking back about it. The video called I Quit YouTube Shorts, it's a fun video. It's a good one, from 6 months ago. Holy crap. But, yeah, see, I can... Jake, you mentioned earlier my thumbnails. I can see, like, if you scroll back, you can see the evolution of the editing style to where I think I'm happy with how they're coming out now. Johnny's here from Shorts. See, Johnny, no joke, you are one of the maybe 3 people that came from Shorts and are still sticking around. Let's see. Jake says, do you know what % of YouTubers have 3.5K subs? It must be top 10%. I don't know. There's a lot more than you think. Cartoon says I do the same basic thing, keep improving, 3% improvements with each video. Basically, you quit shorts too? Yeah, I feel that. Goal is to keep the audience that wants the long form stuff. You're exactly right. That's how it is. Like, that's the stuff that you really put the time and the care into. Like, if they want that, then keep them around. Like, I don't know. It's hard telling. The thing is, too, is you could get a lot of views on shorts from basically anything, and it kind of throws everything off because, like, people would subscribe to your channel from one particular thing and then never watch it again. But I think it's better if you make the same thing over and over and over again. But and also, I think, too, if you are a shorts creator, I think it's better to stick with shorts. Like, if you're gonna be shorts, or at least, I don't know, I feel like you got to do one or the other. And if you do both, it's tricky. It just depends on what you do. But I'm with you there. I want to do just strictly long form from here on out. Jake says, yeah, you hit 1 million views off shorts, right? I remember a video about that. Yeah, no, I did. I can actually pull it up. I have total views lifetime is 1,586,008. And then if you're looking at just shorts, well, we'll do just long form. Just long form, it is 245,000 views. So the majority of my views are from shorts, but the value of those views is completely different. Also, we just recently hit 2 million impressions. That's kind of cool. But yeah, so I did hit 1 million views technically, but I don't really think too much about it. And honestly, I think shorts, if anything, it kind of desensitized me to the idea of views and just subscribers and numbers in general. Because now it's like I don't value them as much. Or the views and stuff from shorts, I don't really value them because they're basically valueless. You know, did not convert, generally speaking, so it's like whatever. 245 views is a lot, though. Imagine Yeah, no, that's right. No, I definitely am not taking that for granted at all. Because I remember I made a video also. I don't know if you remember this, Jake, but I made a video about hitting 100,000. But the thing is, that video came out. I could find it. I could track it down. Where is it? I think it's longer ago than I remember. One of your summer skin pressed on mine, falling like rain, rippling on by. Here we go. We're on the track. We're on the right track here. Okay. The mystery box for 100K, July 15th, 2022. That was the day-ish that I hit 100,000 channel views. That was about a year and a half ago. Year and some change. Year and a half ago. And that was 3-ish years into the channel. Almost 3 years into the channel. So in half the time, I've doubled the views, which is kind of awesome. That's really cool. Because I started in August of 2019, so July, August. So it was literally 2 years, 11 months. It's almost 3 years to the day where I hit 100K views. And then from then on, so that is just under 2 years ago. So that means, yeah, so it's double the amount of time. And I doubled it's half the time and I doubled the views, which is cool. Cartoon Commotion. It says that way, even if they didn't subscribe for the next topic, they still get the same base thing they sub for in the next topic. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I missed your other one. My thinking is that if you want to keep an audience, you need one base through line for all your stuff, even if they're all different topics. My show is about 80s, 90s tunes revealing deeper values. Oh, sick. See, I like my baseline here, my main is being a creative person, creativity, that kind of cool stuff. And so that's more of each video is an example of that, and it has themes and messages embedded within based on that theme of being a creative person. So that's where mine is. And so all the topics, each video could be a different topic entirely, but the root of all of it is being creative. And that's sort of the brand, necessarily, you could say. It's like the brand of it. Well, I don't know. The freedom of living creatively. It's a freedom, and it's also kind of a it's a double-edged sword, because especially making a living creatively, until you get to that point where it kind of just fuels itself, it's hard. But it's worth it. Don't get me wrong. It's 100% worth it. But it also can be a challenge. That's what I'd write as your bio if I were to summarize it. The freedom of living creatively. I like it. Currently, my bio is a creative person who loves making videos. I've thought about changing that, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Oh, man. But see, that's the thing. I think the main idea of it all, too, is I think if you're a creative person in any facet, you could appreciate what the videos are. Like, no matter if you're musically creative or if you're creative in a drawing sense or if you're creative in a, any type of creative person, I think, could appreciate something about these videos in one way or another. Because, like, as a person, I'm creative, but I'm creative in a bunch of different aspects. So, like, that's what I make my videos about, is the fact that I'm not just one thing. It's the fact that I'm creative in a bunch of different areas. It's a fine bio. I was just thinking of, like, selling point for you and what you do. Yeah, no, I got you. Like a mission statement almost. No, bro, I feel you. Cartoon, I'm looking up your channel right now. Just want to see what you do, man. 800 subscribers. Well done, brother. Well done. Cracking Bill and Ted's authenticity code. Nice. Unless we're talking E-types cartoons. That's sick. I like it, man. I like it. Keep it up. Keep it up, my friend. And see, like, I can see based on your interests and your content that you are a creative person and have an appreciation of creative things. Thank you very much. New video coming out on the 13th of April. Hey, nice. I'm gonna have to subscribe and come by and check it out when it comes out. You're very right. I live in my creativity because it's a part of who I am. Hey, dude. Yeah, exactly. It's a part of who I am too, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like, if I wasn't creative, oh, buddy, I have no idea. I have no idea what I would be doing. And, like, it's kind of a weird thing to think about, too. It's like I have genuinely no clue what I would do if I wasn't a creative person. Like, because I've always been a creative person my whole life, so it's, like, really weird to think that I wouldn't be one at some point. And a little bit scary, too. A little bit of a scary thought. Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Already been a half. Usually these commentary streams only go about an hour, but it's kind of slow in the beginning, and then everybody popped on and started talking. So I think this is where we're going to end it for today, for this week's episode. Come back next week for commentary on my next video. Always look forward to these community events. So for those of you that are here right now, thanks for being here. Thanks to everyone for showing up today, whether you came at the beginning or the end. It's all good. I appreciate you nonetheless. Thank you for spending some time out here today. I'm going to go home and relax a little bit before tomorrow. I got a big day of editing and stuff tomorrow. Johnny, see you, gang. Everyone else, take it easy. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.